everybody, today we are going to be testing out the one and only, the brand that changed it all, Fenty Beauty. Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation. I've got 150 and 185. My skin is sensitive but normal, so not super oily, not super dry. I don't tend to go for matte formulations. I like something more dewy these days. So this was an interesting experiment, but I'll get into that in a minute. Spoiler alert, this is a dead shade match, this 185. So if you have a neutral undertone with fair skin similar to mine, this shade will probably work for you. But honestly, Fenty Beauty sending me a parcel. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I've made it. So I'm very, very grateful, and I'm also going to be testing out their foundation brush, comparing it to the Rare Beauty foundation brush, all that good stuff. If you would like to skip ahead, I will leave timestamps down below. If you want to stay for the ride, feel free to. And if you want to subscribe for some more vegan and cruelty-free things and also some lifestyle stuff, then subscribe. And I'm going to get straight on into it. Okay, so here we go. My hair is wet, by the way, because I had a shower this morning and I'm getting ready. We just ignore that. It air dries. We'll be fine. I was going to go in with this bad boy here because this is an SPF, but I already have SPF on my face. So today we are just going to be testing the foundation, but this is the Fenty Skin SPF. It does also, I pumped a little bit out, it does smell like sunscreen, and I have very sensitive skin, and this kind of scent of chemical sunscreen, I don't know if it has a bit of fragrance as well, I have a feeling it's going to sting my eyes. So I will test this separately, let you know what I think, but today we're just testing the foundation that changed it all. I have two shades because the online matcha thing wasn't working for me, so I said could be this shade, could be the other shade, and I got 150 and 185, so both kind of light shades with neutral undertones. My face looks a little bit red because I've just been picking my skin, I'll be completely real. I keep having breakouts on my chin and I've been picking at them, so that's why it looks quite red. But this is supposed to be quite a full coverage foundation, so we're going to put it to the test. It's the Soft Matte Long Wear Foundation Pro Filter range. Shall we go in with the slightly deeper shade? I think this might be a match more so than the lighter one. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's do it. And I'm going to use their 115 foundation brush, which is so cute. I've actually been using the Rare Beauty foundation brush, which is quite nice. I feel like this one's a little bit more soft, but I do like a sponge as well. So I'm going to apply it with the brush. We're going to see what we see. And I'm going to start with maybe 2 pumps, see how far it goes. Interesting. So on this side I applied it with my fingers and then I buffed it out with the brush, and on this side I just applied it with the brush. I think I prefer it applied with fingers and buffed out. It gives a little bit more coverage, less is absorbed into the brush, if that makes sense. I'm going to take the slightly lighter shade, this is 150, and I'm going to use this as a concealer under my eyes as like a sort of brightening thing, and I'm going to apply it with my fingers. I love applying base products with fingers. Okay, I'm not being funny, but that is a great shade match. The 185 is spot on for me. I think, I mean, obviously she's known for her shade matching, that is kind of her thing, but that is a really, really, really good color match. And I didn't use their online color matcher, I just matched myself up with their descriptions, but they do have an online color matcher. So yeah, colour match spot on, very, very impressed. Formula wise, the only thing I can compare it to is the Oma Beauty Soft Matte Foundation. I much prefer the finish of this one to this. I love this brand, but this foundation is quite a dry matte, whereas this, it's definitely matte on my skin. Like, it looks sort of like a porcelain doll kind of effect. Like, there's no sheen, and if you have dry skin, I'm sure it will pick up on certain areas of dryness, like around my nose ever so slightly where I've got dry skin. But I feel like that's because I'm used to a really, really glowy base. Recently, all I've been using is the e.l.f. Halo Glow, which is incredibly glowy and kind of like a medium coverage. Like, it does have coverage to it, but it's sort of a light to medium kind of coverage. So this is not my usual gig, but if I wanted a foundation that's going to be full coverage for like photos or a proper evening event, I think this is... it's looking really nice. I'm going to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup, and then I will be back for a little roundup. I just started putting on a cream blush from a different brand, and then I realised, no wait, I actually have a Fenty cream blush that I love in my collection. So I dug it out. This is the Cheeks Out cream blush in Petal Poppin'. I love this, it's gorgeous. A really, really easy to use cream blush, like very similar to the shade I already had started to put on. I used to be quite wary of cream blush because I used to think it, because I've got fair skin, makes me look like a clown, but there are certain formulas that won't. And I do recommend, if you've only ever used powder blush before, maybe try cream blush over liquid blush. I find liquid blush harder to work with than cream. And then for lips, I'll finish off my eyes in a second, but for lips, I'm just going to put a bit of lip liner on and then use their Fenty Gloss Bomb, because it's one of my favourite products ever. one of the best lip glosses in the world. This is the shade Fussy. Some of the shades are vegan, some of them are not, but just check their website for more information. Okay, so I'm finished with the rest of my makeup. Everything went on perfectly fine. I do feel a little bit of itching around my chin. I do have sensitive skin, and I feel like it might be because I'm not used to this level of coverage on my skin. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It feels really lightweight, obviously, with the matte finish, but I think just because I usually use a tinted moisturiser, maybe my skin's just a tiny bit itchy in places, but my skin can be quite random. Sometimes it will react to something, sometimes it won't react to the same thing when I use it on a different day. So yeah, it's not uncomfortable, it doesn't feel tight, it doesn't feel dry. I'll show you up close, just so you can see how it's sitting on top of this breakout. Overall opinion on these two, I think that the 185 is a perfect shade match. I also like this one for sort of brightening underneath the eye. Coverage, 10 out of 10. Really like it. It doesn't feel heavy. I mean, you can kind of see around my chin, you can tell I've got spots there. I feel like matte formulas show up spots a bit more because the scab on top of a spot, once it's been picked, tends to be quite dry. Matte formulas are more drying. They kind of highlight dry areas. So you can see that I've got spots, but obviously I've got spots. It is what it is and it ain't what it ain't, you know? This I really enjoyed using. I mean, like I say, I prefer to apply product and then buff out with a sponge or a brush, but I think if you're asking me what do I prefer, the Rare Beauty brush or the Fenty Beauty brush, I think I prefer the Fenty one. It feels softer and I like the shape of it. I think it's really decent. So yeah, overall, it will not surprise you to hear that I think these are worth the hype, and if you're looking for a matte foundation, this is my personal favourite, and I would purchase this over the Oma Beauty one. If you're wondering, I use shade T2N, White Pearl T2N, neutral undertone with a light, you know, I usually go for foundations that are light with a neutral undertone, which all three of these are, but I think I prefer the formula of the Fenty. So yes, that's my little review. I hope this was useful. If you've got any questions, let me know. If you want to subscribe, please do, for some more vegan and cruelty-free stuff and things, and some lifestyle stuff as well, if you want to stick around for that. And yeah, hopefully I will see you very soon. Bye.